So today we'll look at the Hasso theory. So the next set, the Suburi. Really rely on turning the jaw. So we'll start with just a few turning movements from the center of the jaw. And we'll look at this next set. Really great, beautiful set movement. Just slide. And then just passing between the hands. Just really get a sense for the center of the jaw. So where the weight is. You're really going to use this with the Hasso set. Really get a sense of the weight of the jaw as it passes through the center. That's it. Good. And then with a coil, just one-handed. And this one also have a sense, rather than the arm kind of just doing this, and the hips kind of being pulled out, have the hip to the thing that's making the movement. So the hip to the and the hands just going to really follow. And just change sides. Again, hip directs, hands follow. Just alternating. Okay, so just to involve the feet. Now you're going to bring the feet together and then apart. So you're going to kind of bring them together and change each side. So it's just kind of on the spot. You can take one step and really focus on the hips coming in from the back, pressing and opening. Just on the spot, pressing from the ground. Actually very light in the hands, very calm and relaxed. Hardly any pressure in the hands. What's that? And just involve either forward movements or backwards movements. But again, just really pressing from the ground as you move. Forwards, backwards. Just really focusing on compression down. So into the foot, pressing weight and then transferring it over the foot. So just kind of be conscious of where the weight shifts and how I transfer the weight. Just go. Allow the arms to just do their own thing. Good. And I just want you now just freely explore. You're going to work with the hands. So don't think about function, and don't think about really finding things, but just think about moving the hands down the jaw. And you're just going to explore different points. I'm basically going to find the middle and rotate over. I'm going to find the end and slide the hands down. Just really explore the jaw. So just explore turning it and feeding the jaw through the hands. Playing with the center, playing with the ends, and also playing with everything in between. So just really explore the feel of the jaw through the hands. Yeah. Okay, now this is the same, it's just on a different kind of feeling. I want you to kind of explore a sense of pulsing in the hand. So when you have a feeling that when it moves, it's going to kind of through the system. So there's a sense of fixing with that hand without tightening. It's just a sense of the weapons kind of hitting into the hands, and then it kind of pulsing through the hands. It's gentle, just has a sense of slightly pulsing, which you can do with one hand or two. Yeah. And I'm also doing the same thing in the feet as well. So there's a pulsing that goes into the feet and it transfers into the hand. It actually originates in the footwork. So have a sense of pulsing with the moving. Good. That's good. Okay, we'll do one more. This is really just for later in the Hasso move. You really use the fingertips as you do the movement. So this is just to explore a sense of contact without having a grab. So in this case, you're going to have the jaw just in the palm of the hand, like this, open. You're going to place the other hand over it without grabbing. You're just going to turn the jaw over, and then you're going to slide the top hand to the end. And I'm only going to work in the fingertips and the palm. So I'm not going to grab the jaw at all. So sliding the hands together, turning it over, and then sending it back. It's very light, so I have very light contact. just to get a sense of contact with the fingertips. Finding the center, flowing down the weapon, just with a sense of very sensitive here with the contact.
Michael?
Yeah.
Where do you put the Joe? Is it like there or is it there?
In this case, I'm just kind of in the palm. So I just kind of allow it. You can't quite see. I'm just kind of allowing it to sit in the palm.
Oh, fit in the palm. Okay, thank you.
You can even do this in the fingertips too, on this side. You can also keep this hand actually in the fingertips too. It's a little bit harder. Yeah, but as long as I have the center point, I can basically hold the Joe, maybe. I can hold the Joe with a very light contact, as long as I have the center. So really try and find where the center is. That's it. Just really work with fingertip contact. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Good. Okay, good. So who's not done the hasso at all before? Has everyone done the hasso before? Done that. Sounds like a dance. Has everyone been to the Suburi, the hasso Suburi? Yeah, I think so. Mostly.
No, I tried the first time with Paul about a week ago, I think. That was my first time.
I'm going to show you the way we teach beginners, and you probably most of you have probably been taught this as well. So this is the way I teach beginners to do it. It's actually technically wrong. So later we get rid of it, but it's a way to kind of teach the movement first. So technically it's not correct, but it's a way to kind of teach the movement. In terms of the hasso, you start in kenkamai, and you roll the Joe this way. Yes, we're just going to practice coming into the kamai. You come to here, change the foot, and bring the Joe back this way. Okay. So the method we teach beginners is like this in 2 steps. You go here, you change the position here, and you come to here. And now this hand pushes down this way and roll up this way. Yeah. You basically come to the side and you press this way. So this is done in kind of 2 steps, and it's very linear. So it's changing the posture, and then from the tip, pressing down, and then finding the weapon here. In terms of the final position, you open the hand here. Is in this position. So the final position is here with the hand open. This hand's just about in line with the shoulder, and you're in this position. Yeah. So I'll do it in this way, kind of coming linearly here to the side, and then pressing here and coming to this position. Yeah, just give this a try in 2 steps. This is just to get into kind of the ballpark of the hasso, and then we'll shift it slightly. Yeah.
Sorry? Yeah, are you coming through?
I don't know how to do this, Michael.
I'll show you. Ready? Up. You're gonna go like this. Ready? Watch. You're gonna break it down. So you're gonna change. You're gonna step back. As I do it, I'm gonna find the center of the weapon with the front right hand. So it comes to this position. Now this tip, this open hand, is kind of at an angle here. Goes to the side of the body. Yeah, that's it. And then from here, the front hand pushes down here, and then it circles up over this way. Yeah, that's it. Good. We'll just take this in a few steps. Goes, you're finding the center, bringing the arm to the side, and then pressing down, rolling over, and then you're going to keep the end with the left hand, sorry. Yeah, that's it. Good. So it goes 1, 2, 3. Yes. That's it. Yeah, that's it. Good. Nice. So I actually think for the seniors as well, those with experience, it's actually very useful to practice it this way, because when you come to teach and you find people are totally confused how to do the movement, you need to know how to do this movement like this. So technically, it's not the way that Hasso is done, but you need to know how to do it to be able to show it people in a kind of simplified way. So in this case, really practice it like coming to here to the side and then pressing down this way, come into the position. So really kind of get familiar with. Sometimes you have to practice in the wrong way to teach. So it's kind of useful sometimes. Really practice it this way. So opening, pressing down this way. Yeah. Just a few more and then we'll go slightly adaptive. Yeah. Huh. Good. That's it. Nice. Good. Okay, and then there's one key that one rule that I won't break in terms of this movement is that I don't actually push it. So in this case, what I don't do is push the jaw away from the hand and then try and find it here. You'll see this a lot. So try and avoid in this case pushing, separating, and then trying to catch it at the end. You want to really avoid this. So what you want to do now, have the sense that this hand slides down the weapon. Here it passes over the hand and then it slides down this way as well. So this hand's actually constantly in contact with the jaw and it's not separating out from it. So if I split and catch, this is kind of breaking a rule. So really have the sense of this is now sliding down and then sliding down here. Yeah. See if you can keep the contact with the jaw. This is actually where you're working in the fingertip with the weapon. It's actually not a push. It's just maintaining contact through extension. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. Good. Nice. Okay, so really now we're going to start to make a shift towards the movement as it is, as it's practiced. So without the kind of step, without this kind of movement going to the side and then pressing down, we're going to now work towards a movement that's much more fluid this way. So now the movement's going to become much more one movement and much more circular. So the fault in this one is that it breaks the movement down into two sections, and it's actually not two; it's just one movement this way. So what I want you to practice now is just the connection with the hands. You're going to change. You're going to come to here with the fingertip. I just want you to roll into this position. Here. So I'm working just with the fingers here, rolling down the weapon, and then catching it on the other side. I'm not going to finish in the full hasso position, so just here. Connection around the body. Rolling, really sliding, pressing from the hip. This, and then making contact with the side, and just finishing in the fingertip here. Yeah. This is the point just where you would take, but just trying to get to this position here. Yeah? Hopefully you can. Good. The neck to the feet, to the hip. Just finishing the fingertip. Try it slowly on. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. Good. Keep going.
If I'm doing completely different things, it's because I've only got audio today and
Okay.
visuals not coming through.
Okay, I'll try and be really clear in what I say. If you're doing something totally different, I'll tell you. That's it. Good, good, good. Okay, good. And the other thing that's kind of not so great about the first method is that it kind of separates the hip work out from the hand work. So it separates the feet and the hands. So in the case of the first move, we did like here, find the movement. And in that case, also breaking a rule, the hands never do it. So in this case, really get a sense that the hip continues the movement. So from here, the hip doesn't stop and then I push, but the hip is the thing that moves the jaw. So the center is constantly working through this movement, which means it's sinking here. I really get a sense now of the center constantly working through the hands. So rolling back and pressing through. The center should feel really active in this movement. So rolling back and then pressing through. Pressing through. So constantly kind of working through the jaw. Give it a try. Go. Yeah, that's it, Serena. Good. Nice. Great. Okay, good. So the hasso is used for 14 to 18. So there's 5 movements with the hasso. We start with a really basic movement, which is coming to the hasso, here, finding this position, and then just finding with a step, a strike forward. This is hasso gaishi. uchi. So hasso gaishi uchi. In this case, number 14. So finding the hasso, finding the end here, sinking the weight down, pressing into the front foot, release the weapon, find the top of the head and strike down. So hasso gaishi here uchi. Just nice and calm and in the ground. Yeah, give it a try. Hasso gaishi uchi, number 14.
出します。
Yeah. Good. So one of the problems in the movement with the hasso is that as I move back, the tendency is to twist the body out and be in these positions, and then have to twist back to find the strike. So in this case, really keep the energy forward. So even though you're twisting and opening the hips, my feeling is actually to stay forward. So don't allow the body to be twisted back out in these kind of positions. Because of the weight of the jaw and the complicated nature of the movement, the tendency is to twist out and then have to twist back. But just really have a sense of coiling backwards with clear intention forwards here. And now from here, the hip just presses in. So keep the front hip here with a feeling of it being sharp here. And I'm strongly in the back. And then I twist into the foot, then the hip in. Yeah, just practice this. So don't allow the jaw to twist you out. Just keep the root strong and open this way. And then pressing forward here, like this. Yeah, give it a try.
Michael?
Yeah.
When you're about to start like this and you slide your head into the Joe, do you slide it halfway, about halfway, or is it just as for you to be comfortable when you move it and then you push it a bit more, or?
No, I basically find the center of the jaw. So in this case, here, I find the really in the center of the jaw here. And then I move the jaw here. The reason for that is just efficiency. So if I take here and then I do the movement, the jaw's very heavy. And if I take here, again, the jaw's very heavy in the hand. And what I want to do is just find the center and move around it this way. So if you think about it, the fastest way to move the jaw to have any effect on the outside is to move it from the center. So, and that's really the place where the jaw's the lightest here. So I'm right at the end and I'm right in the center with this hand. And then the effect that I have here is direct here. Yeah. And if I go here, then the effect is wild. If I go here, then the effect is wild. So just find the center and then press through it. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Use the center to really turn the jaw. And later at speed, this is more efficient. That's it. Good. For those of you that really know the movement and are confident with it, you can go to a slightly more fluid form now. So for me, the hasso set are really, one thing they're great for is practicing connection, because it's constantly challenging my ability to connect with the jaw. The other thing they're great for is fluidity and the fluidity in the hand shift. So in this case, when you do the fluid movement, this hand now kind of constantly work. So the hand that would normally kind of stop here and stop and then go to grasp, this hand's going to constantly work. So it's going to do this, take, and then straight through. Yeah, so just take this really slowly. Flowing in, flowing out. Yeah, so it does a kind of opening and then a taking. So it does this really beautiful kind of hand motion, like opening, closing, opening, closing. So really just practice this slowly. with a sense that the hands follow the hips, and then I just continue the movement in. Really clear kind of waving motion through the body. This way. This. Yeah, so if you're confident with the movement, with the basic, go to this kind of flowing form. Or if you're even not confident, try it and see. But basically use the system as a way to go up and down. So the basic form is the foundation, and then you use this form to really practice the connection. Just explore it in motion.
Michael, this is a showman or not?
For the basic, yeah, this is a
Yeah.
show. So in terms of the basic movement here,
Yeah.
strike
And
down.
then down. Yeah.
In terms of the slightly more fluid form,
You go to Yokomen.
to arc into a kind of a yokomen. Just
Yeah.
because the way the hips are moving. It's going to naturally.
Yeah. You rotate your hips in and then you get the arc.
Yeah, so the hips really going to do this kind of curling movement, spiraling from the ground. So you're naturally going to get slightly more of a yokomen in the fluid form. But for the basic, keep it as a showman. Good. Okay, good. So we'll go to number 15. This is Hasso Gaishi Ski. So a thrust to the front. In this case, you find the same Hasso. Find this movement. Now from here, this hand is going to draw the jaw down. Here, through the hand. You're going to take with the back hand and then thrust through. In this case, this one, you finish back in the Hasso. So the back hand shifts slightly forward, and then you finish in this position here. This is similar. This is the same position as yesterday. This Hachi no Jigaishi position here. So show it a few times. You go the Hasso, feed it through the hand, bringing the foot forward, striking with a thrust, and then shifting the hand and rolling back up to finish. So Hasso Gaishi to the front, and then rolling back into the Hasso. Yeah, give it a try. Hasso Gaishi Skeep, number 15. Oh. That's it. Okay, and then just the detail on the footwork for the basic. Feet. In terms of the footwork, try and make it kind of 2 steps. So you do this. Yeah, now you're going to press out from the back foot so the weight sinks down. This releases the front foot. You shift it in and then shift the back foot in. So you do a kind of 2 steps. You go here, 1, 2. And then from here, pressing from the front foot releases the back foot. Shift back. Yeah. So do this in terms of 2 steps. 1, 1, 2. what this trains later when you do this in the Kinanagari form is just the ability to press weight through the feet, so pressing and coming back. But in order to kind of really exaggerate it, the basic form, with a, just practice really compression down, release the leg, shift the weight back. Yeah, so in terms of the basic, practice the footwork like this. Just think in terms of compression, front and back as you move. Yeah. Right. Yeah. That's it. Great. Nice. That's it. Okay, good. And again, if you're unfamiliar with the movements, just practice at that basic level. But if you are familiar and confident with it, you can now go to a slightly more fluid form. So rolling in, striking in and coming back. And again, just slowly, really practice the change in the hip. Now it's like this. So sending the jaw through, pressing in. Here, through and then back. In this case, the back leg just stays where it is and I just press weight into it. So here, here, here. So slowly. Just this way. Yeah, give it a try. Okay. Slightly more fluid form. Okay, good. So we'll go to 16. Hasso Gaishi Ushido. Ski to the back. So in this case, Hasso Gaishi. In this case, you're going to roll back down. So this hand that's here open, you're going to roll over and take this way. Just allow this hand to follow. Here, sink the weight into the front foot, and then pressing back this way. Hasso Gaishi Ushido. From here, sink weight down. Allow the body to drop down. Yeah, and then press into the front foot. Press back. And so it goes 1. Sinking the weight. Pressing down and back. Yeah, give it a try. Hasso Gaishi Ushido. Number 15. Complicated.
Do you take a step back when you're doing the?
Yeah, in this case, rolling back, okay, pressing from the front, and then do it's like a two-step. So shifting the weight and then taking the back foot with it. And then for the basic, yeah, pressing down, pressing back. Yeah, so you're gonna do a kind of two-step with the back feet. Boom, 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 boom.
Thank you.
Going. Yeah. Okay, so this is a really difficult movement. I think later in the fluid form, it's very difficult. Just to really get it clear from here, as you make this shift, don't do this with the front hand. So don't bring the front arm forward. This will draw you out of your posture, and then you'll have to push back as you do it. So in this case, really get a sense that the jaw is in the center of the body, draws down. So this arm here does this kind of motion here. Yeah, and then just allow the jaw to feed through the hand. Just feeds through, but don't have a sense of reaching and then pushing again. This is the same kind of, the same feeling as these kind of movements here, rolling back. So these are practiced in the earlier Suburi, this feeling. Here, moving the jaw from the back, moving the jaw from the back. It's complicated here because you're moving it from the center. You're not moving it from the back. So here, the movement's more complicated. You've got this kind of feeling, this. Yeah, and this front hand just follows. It comes down, down, and then feeds through the hand. This way. Yeah. Come down, and then feed it through this way. Yeah, give it a try. Yeah, that's it. Great. Good. Oh. Great. Okay, good. And again, for those confident with it, go to a slightly more fluid form. This is, I think, one of the hardest ones in the Hasso set to do as a fluid set. So you're going to go here now. This movement now, this hand constantly works. It's going to slide down and it's going to pull back and then do this. Very difficult. Yeah. Now it moves. Okay, so this hand is again doing this opening, closing. So here, very slow, rolls in, moves in, slides through. So the jaw's constantly in motion. Here. Here. Yeah. In this case, it's difficult because if I do any kind of stretching, I will lose the jaw. So really try and contain the movement and move it around the center. Just try this super slow. Yeah, give it a try. Fluid. Great handwork for the body. Yeah, and I just showed the front hand, the grip on it is going to do this kind of opening and then forward. So it does a kind of this kind of movement. So this kind of opens and then presses down, rolls and opens. So as it would open, where you would find this movement, just continue it. So it opens and then comes down. Opens, comes down. Open, comes down. Open, comes down. So you just constantly do this. Yes. And then it comes back. Yeah, give it a try. Good for the hands. That's it. Right. Good. Deep. Nice. Okay, good. So that's 16. We go to 17. That's okay. Going straight to the rear. So in this case, find it here. Now from here, you're going to rotate and strike low to the rear. Okay, so this is a kind of sweeping move to the back. Here, press from the back foot. Rotate. Use the top of the head. Strike down. Okay, this is just to the side of the knee. So, rolling back, rotating, striking down. This way. Yeah, give it a try. Hasto aiki hiro uchi.
します。
Strike to the rear. Hasto gaishi ushiro uchi. Good. And in terms of the footwork, hip work, just in this case again, take this one step at a time. So you're going to press to the back foot. It releases this leg to be able to press in. Yeah, so just practice really this coordination here, sinking, and then from here I sink all my weight here, releases this foot, and then press it in. So again, just to focus on the footwork, press in, release, release, press the weight, and then release this foot. And you get this kind of coiling sweat. Correction as before, you're just now doing it with a rotation. So pressing, coiling, pressing, coiling. Really with the feet, a sense of compression down. Yeah. Hey. Oh. Yeah. Okay, good. So this is quite a difficult movement. Try and relate all the cutting work, this kind of work, into this movement. So even though it's a very different kind of strike, it's still based on those same principles. So what can tend to happen in this case, because it's a circular movement, I start to kind of drag the jaw this way. It pulls the body out, but just really have a feeling of rotating and then striking down this way. Yeah? So if you take this in 2 movements, you come to this position, and then from here I curl the hips, but I'm using really the same dynamic as I would use for a cutting motion, and try and avoid it twisting out from the body. Try and get a sense of pressing weight down into the ground. So this kind of work here, and not this kind of work. This will twist you out of your structure. So just keep the same feeling as normal cut. Allow the hip work to open as you make it. Yeah, give it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Good.
That's it, rolling. Good, great. Okay, we'll go to 18. So this is Hasogai Shiro Barai. Barai means a kind of sweeping movement. In this case, similar to the last one, you come to here. Now from here, I change the footwork. I release the jaw here. In this case, slightly to the side of the head. And now from here, I bring the front foot, what's now my front foot, this one, back and swing the jaw out this way. So this is a sweeping movement. From here, release, rotate, and then bring the jaw back this way. So from here, this, so Ushiro, Barai.
So Michael, it doesn't come up to your head, huh? So it comes from the side.
In this case, still into it. So I don't go to the head.
Okay. Okay. So it's from the side.
In this case, yeah, this position.
Okay.
Curling it out. So this movement's from high to low. This way. So Hasogaishi. Turn the body, and then swinging out this way. Yeah, give it a try. Hasogai Shiro Barai. Number 18. Hopefully you've got space. Oh. Let's see. Nice. That's good. So the key thing in this movement is that I don't drag the jaw this way. So what can tend to happen in this case is the feeling of dragging the jaw from the back. So if I finish and my hand is on this side of the jaw, it means I pulled it from the back, from the arm. So what I want to do in this case is use an extension here in this arm this way. this way. So you've got a sense of this way. So I want my hand to finish on this side of the jaw here, yeah, and not this way. Yeah, if I've done that, I'm pulling. If I do this, I'm using extension. So this way, this way. This leads straight away into my next movement, which would be to coil forward. So it's coiling down, and then this way. So just have a sense. Just check when you do the extension. This way. Again, it's dynamic as I used in a cut. So it's actually the same. It's just very open. Right. Use extension as you go back.
Michael, I've got 2 questions, please. One is that when you, what's the height that you finish, and is it like parallel to the body, or do you do it further back?
Yeah, you'll see this. You'll see this a few ways. If it's done at speed, it tends to go a bit further. But as a general practice for the basic, it's going to finish in this kind of position. Yeah? And that just means my shoulders, my arms reached full kind of extension. This way. In terms of height, it's going to go down this way. Yeah? It's going to be in this kind of position, this kind of angle. Yeah. Again, just look for the structure of the shoulder is extended out here in this way. So not too high, and again, not too low. Yeah, it's about here, and just at full extension. Yeah, so it's about this kind of angle. This is a kind of sweeping blow to the back, this way. This way. And the reason I finish, I can just connect the hip and move the jaw back. If I go too far, I've got to swing everything back over. So finishing here allows me to just coil into my next movement. Yeah, hopefully that's clear.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll show you the fluid form for this one. You can practice it maybe later. You don't really have enough time, but in this case, you're going to move here. Now in the transition, this hand is going to open and move. So again, the hand, this hand is constantly in working this way, and it's going to coil this way. This does a really nice spiral of effect. So you can practice this later this way. So the jaw now is constantly moving. This hand opens and then coils into the next movement. So it goes here. Yeah. So this hand opening and coiling, opening and coiling. Yeah. Okay. Any questions about the Hasso set? It was a bit quick. We'll
Just 2,
yeah.
actually the same, both for Ushiro Uchi and Ushiro Barai.
Yeah.
The second hand, which is inside, hold on, this pulse is facing up, right? Like this.
Yeah.
And also with the other one, which is supposed to be like this, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, so the pulse is facing up.
Yeah, I think use the same. In terms of this hand, I'm in the same grip as I would use for a strike. This way, and in this case, slightly arced out. This way.
Okay.
Basically, what I'm looking for is the joint goes all the way down. The extension goes all the way into the weapon. And if I'm working in this kind of way or this kind of way, then it's twisted out. This will go against the wrist. So, in terms of this movement here, this kind of line, and in this movement, I've got this kind of arc through the joint.
Okay.
Working in these kind of positions.
Okay. Yeah.
Broken, so
Okay.
focus on the line that runs through the joint and through into the weapon. Finish that like that.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks.
Good. So that's the set 14 to 18. And then there's 2 more Suburi at the end, so we'll look at them sometime.
Monday?
Can I ask, is there a translation for the word hasso?
Oh, good question. Hasso. Hasso. Where's Naoko? Naoko! Naoko! Hasso. What's the translation into English?
Eight.
Figure 8.
8 movement. I think.
Yeah.
Just check detail.
Good. So yeah,
It's eight movement.
Yeah. Good.
Okay, I think. Sorry.
No, good. So yeah, it refers to a kind of figure 8 movement. So yeah, it means this movement actually refers to the finishing position. Is like the Japanese character for 8. So that the 2 arms form this character for 8. In Japanese, aiki is this kind of this.
Yeah. We just make 8 like this.
Yeah.
This,
Also.
like yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
That is 8.
This kind of movement as well.
Yeah.
So there's a bit of debate. Yeah, like this. Yeah, good. Okay, let's spotlight. Wait, 1 sec. Yeah, this. Yeah.
This is
Wow.
Okay.
And it can also refer to the final position. If you look at the arms, this position. So this one,
Yeah.
this one lower. This position with the arms can also refer to this kind of aiki. So yeah, this kind of movement, this figure 8 movement. So yes, figure of 8 movement. Oh wait.
8 like a Möbius, This is 8.
Oh, we couldn't see.
We couldn't see.
We couldn't see.
No, can you show it again?
Number 8.
Oh, yeah, okay. I'll just, okay, we see.
Okie dokie. I saw. Oh no, I've lost the picture. Oh, I'll send you a picture later. It was really great. I found of Saito Sensei practicing. Oh no, wait, I've got it. Practicing under any conditions.
Wheelchair?
Probably downpour of rain.
Oh, here we go. Wait a minute. Get screen. You see this one? Practicing in all weather. Whatever the weather. I trained whatever all the time. Snow, rain, storm, whatever. I was a non-stop kind of guy. I like.